I started recording a video. I was about 8 minutes in. I've really been struggling to get this message out and to word it with clarity. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep this brief. And when I say brief, I really mean it, because I have to share this. And I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist and blah, blah, blah. And I've explained many times that I don't like to refer to use the term spiritual attacks, because it externalizes the matter. We are moving through a very dicey energy. When I say dicey, I mean like it's murky, it's sticky, it's dark. It looks like nuclear waste, of the liquid sort. But, okay, I'm going to speak about the upside. The upside is that this is happening because we're moving deeper into the void. Okay, so that is a good thing, because the deeper you go, the better the information. When I say better, I mean higher quality, more depth, okay? But that information, it's like there's a balancing force that is trying to avoid you from getting to that information. And I don't like using this language. It creates fear, because this is not actually external. These are versions of you. These are versions of you. And there's a video that I'm going to link below that helped me figure some of this out for myself. And I haven't figured it all out yet. I'm just moving through it. But God help me. Okay. I'm going to link it below. Okay. This energy boils down to choices. Wherever you go, there are all these options. The deeper you go, the more pronounced these options. So we've been through life in the gray. And then at some point, it's like you can sort of see the whitish part from the blackish part. And now it's like the blacker is becoming blacker and the white is becoming whiter. If you can picture that for me, then you'll understand what I'm trying to say. And you've got to recognize both. You've got to recognize both, but you can get very stuck in the very dense blackish stuff. And I'm just going to speak about it like this, because that's the way I'm seeing it. I actually had laid out cards, and then as I was shuffling, it's like this became even more like nuclear waste than it did before I even started the reading. And this energy, because, just think about the extent of light. The extent of light, and consider the darkness jealous, okay? Just consider it that way. And whether this is external or not, and I do not believe it's external, whether it is or not is actually irrelevant, because the outcome, and especially for the faithful, the outcome is refinement. And so there's never been a more important time than to become aware of yourself, aware of your own darkness, aware of how you speak to yourself, aware of just not judging yourself, just aware, so that you know, okay, I recognize that. Because I think what I've been doing is also running, or like sitting in one place in freeze mode, okay? So recognize yourself, because if you become aware of these things, they have less power over you. And again, no externalizing, because that's just disempowering to write this off as if not your problem, not yours. And there are situations where it's not yours, but I can't help but feel like this is something that I'm expected to move through, not past. Okay, so there are a few things that need to be reaffirmed, okay, as you move through this. Your support is like no other. And so when vision gets blurry, when things look like they're being disrupted, because the way I see it is like a radio jammer. That's That's also how I've experienced this. Remember your support. Remember in the control room, you've got the best support there, okay? The second thing is, don't ignore the negative conversations that are happening in your head. Call them out. And third, this is about choices. I actually had a vision. I decided to just put everything aside and get some rest this afternoon. And one of the visions I had in like my semi-dream awake state was like I was diving, okay, into like swimming at the bottom of, looked like maybe the ocean, but like the surroundings were unclear. And I went, and as I picked up this thing, I picked up like a stone. It was a stone. And then when I looked around, it was actually just air. It wasn't water. So I went diving, thinking it's water, and came out with a stone. I don't want a stone. I didn't know what I was looking for. I don't know why I was there, but I don't want a stone. And so for me, this kind of brings to the surface this idea around choices. So free will comes into this. I'm going to speak in terms of myself. I choose what happens with me. I speak to myself. I create my own reality. And this sense of creating our own reality, it can feel also so like out there. However, your reality requires you to choose it. And the way I'm making sense of this is that I've been yearning to go deeper. However, I have not really said what I want. I'm not sure I've ever really needed to. But that rock, that stone, kind of like was a message to say, you perhaps choose something. And it's a strange awareness that I'm experiencing right now, because it's like I'm not in my body. It's like I can feel all these things that are taking place and I can see them, just not very clearly. But because I know who I am, I'm observing them now. I'm observing them. And I haven't quite figured out my way out. But I'm also sensing, it's like I'm alert, if you know what I mean. I can also sense this thing's need to try me, to get me. To get me, and so I'm just going to be here for now. I didn't want to be completely silent because I didn't want to ignore that I can feel that this energy is beyond me as well. It's not just me. And so if you have any thoughts around this, please share them. And I'm going to link that video that I talked about below. I'd be lying if I said I have nothing else to say, but the words are coming out so like wish-wash. This jammer is testing me. But it's going to clear. Because all it needs is some time, I'm assuming. All it needs is some time. And what I definitely know, one thing I know for sure about this kind of energy and through my own experience, it happens. And this is this particular nuance of energy, my first time, but in principle, this happens just before a breakthrough. It's like an exorcism of sorts, and I don't know that word. Oh my goodness, these words. It's like an exorcism, when like the demon like goes mad crazy just before it dies. Like it's in its last breaths. So, and also that the more of us that work on these types of things, the easier it is for everyone. And I'm here for it. And something else that I just want to say to close this off is that I do get the sense that There are those that are trying to act like it's not happening. Because, I mean, I feel maybe I also went through that. And so it really does need the acknowledgement of it. It needs the acknowledgement of it to say, I see you. I see you. And what I'm picturing myself doing next is actually writing down these things, these thoughts that this thing is sending through me. They go through my mind. The feelings go through my body. I'm going to name them and essentially rebuke them because I choose whether they exist in me or not. I choose. Sending you love.